But did you ever know where Vaughan's Hotel was in Parnell Square?
I'd actually always known where that was, but
You didn't know what it was?
didn't know what it was or what it had to do with anything. Never even heard of Tom McGuire.
Yeah. They were lucky to have him. He was a rare genius, that man. You know, the intellect he had. And I mean, he could tell you, you know, there'd be rows over things back into Vaughan's Hotel, and you know, the plans. He just looked at a map, and he'd have it in his mind forevermore. You know, for the battles and the things, and the fellas would be complaining and leaving out, and Tom would say, "You said this." "Oh no, but I didn't. He says, you know, he could tell you the date, the time, the hour that you said it, and things. You know, he totally recall.
And I have a photograph of Tom Barry's wedding. And it just says hotel proprietor for where Tom McGuire is, because it would have been treason for Tom Barry to list Tom McGuire's name.
Yeah. The 12 apostles were his bodyguards, you know, they were Tom's bodyguards.
Where Tom McGuire is buried?
Yeah. In Mount St. Lawrence in Limerick. Here is your grave. A little bit. This is the first door there. And the 14 tiers of, you know, his father. It was the Church of Ireland and covered all that.
So all in all, it has been a good day for the Pope.
And the Catholic Church. They covered it up together.
It's alright. Not gonna hurt.
And it says here that they used to come from New York to go to school.
Did, yeah.
John and Francis McGuire.
Yeah.
John.
On the thing there. Was that show me that? On their ship.
Yeah.
And my great-uncle James and his sisters went to school on the ships, you know, the Curragar and the Lizzie Casey, and to school in England. And their last townhouse was in Forest Hill. You know where? That's how I know it. You see those? Look. Oh, let's see now. Look at, they came in. New York. Look. Look. In what? 18. What's that? 1824. Coming on your ship too. And James then, you see James isn't on that. That's my grandfather, look. That one is my grandfather. And that's Tom, you know, to Vaughan's Hotel. But James isn't on that because he went to school in London because he had to understand the British system, that's and legal and the financial system, you know. And Tom went down to South Africa. You ever see this?
Dominus forgets who his champion is. It is you who forgets title, master, and slave.
Master and slave.
Apologies. I have made many mistakes since becoming champion. Now I intend to rectify them shortly.
I saw the theatre in Rome, you know, where they used to fight and all that.
Good citizens of Capua. I stand before you. The sting of tears yet hot upon my cheek.
I was up in this.
And this is Martin McGuire.
That's Martin McGuire.
And when he said that he wanted to get the Americans interested in the Northern conflict.
Yeah. He got the Kennedy, because he brought President Kennedy here. I told you, if you look up that book, Suffer the Little Children, because he went to Rome in 1950. You know, in those days, there was a young fellow, and he was picked up in Limerick, and he was missed in school, and he was sent straight down to the industrial school in Glynn, Suffer the Little Children, and he was lashed with a cat o' nine tails, and he ran away out of it back to Limerick, which was about 30-something miles. But they were poor people. And church and state with no politician or no church wouldn't hear. No. They came down in delegation, my father, he went through the roof. And I tell you, he took him on church and state. And he went off to Rome in 1950 because there was a vow of obedience to the Pope and no clergymen, no priest or curers, or they could complain to Rome over anything in the Catholic Church. My father went down to a private audience with him and a state banquet, and he wanted the industrial schools all run the same as Father Flanagan of Boystown. And he brought Father Flanagan of Boystown over here, who got awful abuse from here, and he took on church and state, and if they only did what he done all that 50 years ago, you're talking about 1950. 1940, even before that, 1940 something, but he went to Rome anyway to Pope Pius XII and gave out to him. That's Tom Clark's memorial in Limerick. Could Tom read the proclamations on Sarsfield Bridge in Limerick? That's your sovereignty. I mean, I knew his son very well, Tom Clark's son. But he's buried up in. And you see the gun? You can't see it very well, but he's holding the gun there, and he said, we had that gun in Willowbank. I don't know what happened in the end. But see the proclamation telling you what your sovereignty is. The two of them. But in the end, they never got the recognition for doing all the research of the ends of the Four Masters. Yeah. John got it, but Eugene didn't, or any of his family never got any of it. Because the same thing like Geary at the time. Geary didn't get his degree either, his law degree. He was here in 1913, all during the troubled times, Yeah. And India's independence, I told you, and the British wouldn't give him his degree. They wouldn't give Sam McGuire. They withdrew all these things from Sam, his pension, everything. He died of starvation. And the same with Eugene O'Curry. They wouldn't give him any credit or any. But I told you, he was the base of it. That was the base of the War of Independence. Because they had a club in every town, village in Ireland. And it's all about independence.
The community.
You couldn't. The mice of the British Empire couldn't. They couldn't change that. And that's what got that. I told you about India. Didn't have that. And that's why I told you about the oldest salt marshes on record. It was the Liverpool salt tax is what we did for them. That's all came out of Owen's Hotel. Their flag is our flag, and the other way around, and their constitution is our constitution.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Liverpool salt tax unites the people. But it just shows you the links that are there.
And that was James McGuire, the MP that got the link to India. You were saying. The same one that was in the South Africa. Yeah,
well, he was chairman of the British South Africa. He got the mining rights from Bulawayo, because he got those of the British South African company. He was an MP for Clare and for Donegal, and then John Francis McGuire, he owned the Cork Examiner, and he was the MP for Cork and Dungarvan. So they were, the Cork Examiner was given. The Crosby's didn't found it. It was founded by John Francis McGuire. It's our paper, and that was he was very much into the Christian and Catholic sort of and the GA and all that, Yeah. But it's funny how the link up. Tom went to South Africa at one stage, my granduncle, to learn banking and that, He went to the bank down there to learn it. He went to India as well to see how the Irish troops and how India was being governed, by the troops. So they had first class information. They'd leave nothing, no stone. And then of course they knew Mahatma Gandhi in South Africa, over that Bulawayo, the mining rights. And that was the great link. And to think that India's independence came out of that. And I was listening to a program the other day on Talk History. Did you ever listen to it? 106 to 108. It's on a Sunday evening at 7 o'clock. They do all sorts of things. It's very interesting. But I keep on asking what the sovereignty is now. I never do that. Never do the Irish Republican Brotherhood. And they had a program on India. And they didn't know. She's, what was her, O'Malley? They didn't know that Geary was a member of the Irish Republican Brotherhood and a member of Sinn Féin. He was here in 1913, I think it was, and how they got their independence. And they did a program, great historians. And if you ask them on their degree, the seal would have to be on their degree, you know. But you're a history. You got a degree. And how do you know? I mean, how do you know? How do I know that you have a degree? My name is on. That's no good. It could be anybody's name. Just the Sovereign Seal course on this is what you need. That's what makes it legal, valid, not your name. For. But that's, you see all the secret passages and all the secret drawers and everything in that, you know. Destroy them all. That's Siptu's headquarters. And what you call the fella that's going for Labour as well.
Guillermo?
No, fella's going for president. Well, he's over the children things. Barnado's.
Fergus Finlay?
Fergus, yeah. His office was there, he told me. And he always won. He knows a good bit about it, but he won't tell anybody. Because he was one of the ones that... But I'm amazed at Labour. Because Labour were decent, and they didn't really... That vote of the 32 county election, they stepped aside, you know, for a lot of it to allow it to happen. And of course, as you know, that James Connolly, he was a member of the Irish Republican Brotherhood and that. And it wasn't... That's why Vaughan Sertel was put in trust into, we'll say, Labour, because of James Connolly. And they were the ones to keep it. What did they do?
They sold it.
Sold it. And Fergus Finlay, and Dick Spring, and Jim Kemmy, and John Bruton, and there's a few of those. And in that Labour movement, they're responsible for that, and they should be held accountable for it. It's a lovely story. He used to have a Kerry Blue. And Kerry Blue was still in, up to my aunt, when he came back. His brother James, he built Corrigal, which is on the Ennis Road, and my grandfather lived in Corrigal, and he lived in Elm Lodge. He lived in the central of Elm Lodge, is an acre of ground, lovely little place. But when Tom died, his dog Roddy was the name of the dog. And Roddy was brought back to Elm Lodge, and there was always a Kerry Blue kept in Elm Lodge. But the story about when they used to come in, the 12 apostles and all the boys come into Vaughan's Hotel at night time, being out around, you know, doing all the things. Roddy would be looking. Gwen had a little Scotty terrier. And Tom was always taking Roddy for a walk in the Scotty. But the boys would come in, Collins and all the boys, and they'd have a game with Roddy, you know, up at one side of the hotel, down, you know, tearing around, hunting horn, blowing and everything, but a total hunt, you know, over couches and falling over things and trying to catch Roddy, you see, and hunting. And pure, I suppose, they were so tense in any bit of a relaxation. This was a regular every night. Roddy be waiting at the door for them all to come to play this game. and Collins, anyway, a trophy was put up for, it's the most coveted trophy in the country, for the Kerry Blue dog. It is still awarded every year, but it's the Michael Collins trophy, and he awarded that for the great love he had for Roddy. That's the dog. He's the Kerry Blue that he awarded that for. And people don't even know that today. No. And it's the most coveted, you know, there's these dog shows and things. It's the most coveted trophy in the country, and they don't even know where it came from. But I do think airbrushing out the Civil War, they airbrushed out too many things. I know the bitterness was there, and families divided, families. Brothers fought against brother, and the vicious, and